I'm here for the audition.
A few moments later.
You open up fake accounts with your spouse.
You're full of shit. You know what your husband does?
No, I didn't.
She's lying.
Used up right now is Sharif taking shit for it. I'm innocent.
Very clear here. Jen Shah is in a washing machine of turmoil because she's been indicted on federal charges with a prison sentence looming. Not because she's getting trolled by Chris Harrington on Instagram.
Jesus, no crying he made. Is that it?
Yeah. Her fat elf on the shelf husband is gonna put you on a yacht, bitch.
What's up, y'all? It's Brian Keith, and I'm back with another video. And today we'll be looking at season 3 of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, episode 7. And this was such a good episode. There was a lot of highs, a lot of lows, but y'all, in honor of it, I got myself a big gulp. So you already know what time it is. Let's get into the video and like, comment, subscribe.
Let me check my shit real quick. Hotter than the fire coming out my flaming lips. You wanna play with me? You can't play in me. On the playground, bitch, you can't play with me. Got it, won it, securing the bag.
Episode ends up exactly where it left off. So the girls are just basically standing outside, and we have Angie K, AK-47 basically walks up to Angie.
Like everybody, I wanted to like you and I want to give you a chance, but I also think if you're going to talk behind Lisa's back, then don't go after her and don't go try to be her friend and don't try and hug her. Like,
and she basically tells her like, hey, you know, you just stop all the fake and fraud stuff, because at the end of the day, it's not that deep. You don't like her, Lisa doesn't like you. And she's like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. And Angie's basically alluding to the fact that it's like your husband was the one that basically set up this whole situation with this Instagram, basically targeting Lisa. So it's just like, stop, don't be fake and just like try to walk up and hug her. Angie's basically like, well, I don't know what you're talking about, trying to play coy and dumb.
There's screenshots that exist that show that you did.
I've opened it?
You and your husband. She's lying.
And I'm just trying to figure out like what is the motive. So Dana basically walks over to Jen like, hey, you know, they brought up the situation, you might as well want to join into the conversation. You already know it's typical Jen. She's going to basically take it above and beyond.
it's a big deal. Let me tell you what I had to say. I had to tell my husband. Remind me. Shut up and let me talk. Because it's me, goddammit. Let me talk.
And she just like, you know what your husband did? He was the one that basically started this whole thing against me. Why use my name? And Angie basically saying like I don't know. I didn't make the Instagram account, so it didn't have nothing to do with me. But I do agree with Jen. It's just like, yes, you didn't create it, but you can't sit here and tell me that your husband, that you was unknowing that your husband was doing this, and you're liking the post too. Of all of these accounts on Twitter, Instagram and stuff, that's the one that you liked. So it leads to the fact that 1, Angie's messy, 2, her husband is messy, crazy, and 3, it's just like you definitely knew exactly what was going on. And your husband, yes, he was defending you, but there's ways to go about it than doing this. I feel like personally Angie is very thirsty to be on the show, and she's gonna do whatever she can to basically try to get on the show. I don't mind it, but I feel like at the end of the day, for this franchise to survive, they're gonna have to do something, because Jen is leaving. So Angie, do what you gotta do. So Jen is over here like freaking out.
Sir, you're being accused of right now is Sharif taking shit for it. I'm innocent.
And she's just like, well, you know, Heather comes out because the guy basically goes like, hey, you know, there's a commotion outside, you might as well just go out. And the boy that was singing, so Heather goes outside, and she's just like, Angie basically tells Heather, has my husband ever did anything, or is my husband a bad person?
Do you know my husband to be a bad guy?
No.
And Heather's like, no, hasn't done anything. And Jen's looking at her like, girl, what? Like in shock. And Jen's just like, okay, but her husband was the one that created this account. So I get where Jen is coming from. So he's like, you're negating my feelings and how I feel about the situation, and that her husband did something to hurt me using my name to hurt my entire family, but you're basically trying to agree with the fact that your husband is such a good person.
Find someone, he talked to you about it, he took accountability and talked to you about it.
He did it because I asked about it.
Basically seems like Heather is agreeing with Angie, so I can see why Jen is upset. Jen walks inside, she is just a wreck. She's just like, insanity.
That Sharif is disgusting. Oh my God, I can't do this.
So they go inside and Lisa Barlow gets here.
I'm here for the audition.
And Lisa goes, does her audition, everybody's shocked. And she's like, hey y'all, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do an audition. I'm gonna sing my song. So she's singing her song and
Away in a manger, no crib for his bed.
yeah, Lisa did her big one. It was really cute. Lisa has a pretty voice. You can definitely tell she's not trained. You can definitely tell that she doesn't sing, but she has a pretty voice. It wasn't nothing crazy like oh my god, like how Twitter sounds like she's iconic, oh Grammy, Tony. Like, it's not really giving that, but I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, okay, Lisa, I ain't mad at it. So all the girls sit down and like in like the little waiting area. And
Chris thinks this is just, I need to protect my wife. Well, he's saying that I don't mean it. I don't matter, but you do.
Jen's like, you know, I'm calmer, but I'm just still trying to I'm just still confused with Angie, like, and like you're over here attacking my husband, and then with you, Heather, you're over here siding with her and basically trying to just say that she's right and I'm wrong for feeling the way I'm feeling. And Heather's like, that's not really how it is and how you're feeling, but I mean, he is a nice guy. He just did something and it should be, you know, he did it. He admitted to it. And she was like, it doesn't matter he admitted to it. He admitted to it because he got caught, not because he just wanted to just go out there and just admit it. So I definitely see where...
That's the only thing I said. I did not say that's it. It felt like you were dismissing everything that I felt. Not at all.
It's coming from, and I feel like Heather is trying to play in the middle and it's just not working. And while Angie's talking and she basically is like, well, you know, saying what she's saying, you see Lisa over here just...
And he cares about you and he did not show it in an appropriate way. Yeah. I'm like, seriously?
Yes, she's over it. She's like, okay, I'm getting up. And
Keep doing the same thing. You bully everyone online.
I don't bully anybody online, and I only have one account and it's got my face on it.
she just has her moment. She leaves and storms out because she just feel like it was fake and fraud, because it's just like, okay, if you know what he did, just apologize. It's not that deep, it's not that hard. Jen storms off as well. Lisa goes to check on her. She's like, are you okay? Are you good? You want me to come in here? She's like, yes. And that's when Jen over here says,
with Angie because she thinks her fat elf on the shelf husband.
oh, yeah, she said something about Angie's husband. I was just like, child. Oh. But we see in the next scene, Jen is basically at home and she's talking to Coach Shaw and she basically giving him the rundown of what happened and just how Heather did not have her back.
Heather walks out and Heather goes, Jen, just forgive them. They said sorry, forgive them and move on.
And Coach Shaw was not having it. He was like, you know what?
And if the response doesn't feel good and it's not justified in your heart, then maybe I need to get a new damn friend.
At the end of the day, the people need to be responsible. And if you're going to be on a public platform making such accusations and trolling someone, then he need to go back on the public platform and apologize on that same account and leave it up there. And I totally agree with Coach Shaw.
Sought public attention, take the same public apology.
I agree.
Take the same public apology and keep that apology up for as long as that account was up.
Because if this man is truly apologizing and come to you like, hey, you know, this is what I did, I apologize, cool. But I feel like with Coach Shaw, that's what he wants, a public apology, because not only is he talking about Jen, but it really was about Lisa, but you brought their whole name into it. Like, you didn't say Jen Shaw exposed, you just said Shaw exposed. So it makes it seem like the whole Shaw family. So I get where she's coming from with that situation. Her braids, I don't know how I feel about it. Let me know in the comments. But I was kind of like in this scene when Coach Shaw was going ham because he was not playing with nobody. I was like, God damn. So Lisa and Whitney goes out. They have like a little let's say couples date. They have a little play date with their sons, and they're talking about, basically Lisa's talking about how she takes on a lot of weight with her siblings, and she tries to fix everyone when she can't fix them.
And I just feel like I need a shift. Like, for example, with Heather, like I still choose to be there for Heather. Like, out of anyone that should not have shown up for those auditions.
Whitney's talking about the same old situation with, you know, my abuse and this, that, and the third. And I said this before, where I feel like with Whitney, I feel like I'm lost in with this story because there's no context of what abuse you're talking about. So she's just saying abuse and it's very broad. There's so much we can talk about. So like I said before, I don't think I want to know what the abuse was. If it's like SA or if it's like domestic stuff, like I don't know, but it is hindering the story because we don't know exactly what it is. Because I feel like the level of abuse, even though abuse is abuse, period, but it can get lost in the sauce because I feel like verbal abuse is way different than physical and the other type of abuse, if that makes sense. But I do feel like Lisa and Whitney's relationship is kind of fake and phony a little bit. I felt like Heather and Lisa's relationship was a little bit more genuine because it just seemed real. It seemed like they came together because they already had beef and just like, look, I'm trying to be over it. Cool. I feel like Whitney's trying to be Lisa's friend out of convenience. And that's just how it feels. Lisa has this dinner with her husband, and like I said, I like the fact that they show these relationships with their spouses because he take her out to dinner and she's just like, I feel like something's missing, and my faith is really big to me. Is I feel like I have steered away from, even though she feel like she's still like within her faith, she feel like she has steered away from her faith, which she feel like when she's within her faith, she feels more whole as a person. So I feel that was a good moment. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is very much has a lot of religious ties in it. I feel like Lisa is Mormon, I think. Don't get me, I think she is. So I mean, that's part of her faith. So I mean, good for her for basically identifying that as an issue within her life. Heather and Whitney, here's the thing. I feel like Whitney is doing what she's doing to be strategic, and I feel like Heather is doing what she's doing because of retaliation off of basically what Whitney's doing. I feel like Heather knows that what Whitney's doing is bull, so she's just over it because she was like, out of all people you'll pull a stunt with, you'll pull a stunt with me?
Too. We were both making progress with Lisa, and now I feel like, well, like how is this gonna work for me? Do you feel like you're stuck in between loyalty to Lisa or me? No.
So Whitney goes to Heather's house and she basically telling her like, well, I feel like we should be back on a better page. I don't know how we got so far, but I just felt like you didn't care about my feelings, this and the third. And mind you, this is the second time that she's basically coming to Heather about this situation. Because, she tried to, Lisa and Heather tried to talk at the auditions, right?
And like a little bit of a cover your ass.
No,
but it's fine.
it was
not. Clear your name, and your name is cleared. And I lied, and you're the best.
And Heather was over it because she's just like, yeah, you brought my dad up. You're perfect. You're this. You're that. Cool. And Whitney basically throws in her face like, well, you might think Lisa's wrong, but you haven't heard her side. I've heard her side. I can see where she's coming from.
Felt like she's defending herself. And I can't argue that. We're not hearing Lisa's side of it.
And Heather is just like, so you're gonna sit up here in my face to tell me that I'm wrong and tell me that my perspective is wrong and this and the third.
Wait, she hurt me.
Hey, just listen to me. Listen to my feelings, even though I'm good with my words.
And she just basically over the conversation and she ends it there because she's just like, you know what, it is what it is. I'm surprised she didn't just she walked into the room. I'm just like, girl, kick her out the house. Like, you need to leave. But she walks into the room, she like basically pushes her out the door and she's just like, yeah, I'm over it.
Like, not only are you a bad friend, but you also have completely ignored me in a huge crisis, which is unfair and untrue.
And Whitney basically walks out and just like, in disbelief. But my whole thing is, Whitney, what did you expect at this point? Like, like from the beginning to now, like this whole situation is still like, it seems so fabricated. So it's just weird. But my whole thing with Heather is, Heather, how are you mad at or confused with why Jen is mad when you are doing the same thing to Whitney? So you're basically saying that Whitney is basically trying to choose Lisa over you, but Jen feels like you're picking Angie over her. So how is it that you can basically feel that emotion for Whitney, but you can't feel that emotion for Jen and see the perspective? That's why I felt with Heather, I'm just like, it seemed hypocrisy. Because you can see it for this one because you're in it, but you can't see it for that. But y'all, let me know what y'all think. Next episode is going to be crazy. The friends of the show really are playing a major part. That's why I feel like they should have just made them full housewives at this point, because their hands are in the cookie jar and the crumbs are everywhere. Weird analogy, but it makes sense. Y'all, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.